Hey everyone, it's Jolt here. Merry Christmas. I have an exciting present for you. I created a new Mindmap Builder script for Obsidian Excalidraw, and I'm going to demonstrate it to you. But I thought, what better way to frame a video about Mindmap Builder than a mind map that I created with Mindmap Builder. So I want to start with just a few words about the backstory, because I am procrastinating right now. I should really be working on my new course, Sketch Your Life. More on this later. But instead, I'm building new features, new tools into Obsidian Excalidraw, including the Mindmap Builder feature, which loosely connects to the course. But of course, this is not the course, this is a tool. So I'm going to walk you through Mindmap Builder. Then I'm going to show you two other cool new features that are now available in Excalidraw. One is the LaTeX Suite support. The other is the new arrow feature that was released already 2 weeks ago, but I didn't create a video, so I'm going to show you that. And at the end, we are going to circle back to the course, and I'm going to show you how mind maps link to the topic of the course. And that's pretty much about it. So let's look at how Mindmap Builder works. So now we are diving into a live demonstration and a feature walkthrough of the tool. You need to click here on the Obsidian Tools panel, click this icon to install or update scripts. And here you can just simply type in Mindmap, and it's going to select under the editor picks. You will see Mindmap Builder here. If you click on this, you can come here and you can install the script, and then the script is going to be available for you. It's going to be called Mindmap Builder. So we'll start Mindmap Builder with Command or Control P, and I'm going to just simply type in Mindmap, or you will need to type in Mindmap Builder to start the script. And with that, you'll see this simple user interface. Now, if I click here to expand it, then you have lots of settings here. We'll go into this in a bit detail, but for now, I just want to show you how it works with this simple interface. So this is the Mindmap Builder script. So I'm going to press enter, and with that, I created my central node. And what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about features. We're going to talk about settings, and we're going to talk about copy and paste, which I think is a super interesting functionality, because that is about, and now I'm going to show you a new feature. If I use the Alt arrow keys, I can navigate between the various nodes in my mind map. So here I can add that this is copy paste to and from Markdown. So I think many of you are going to love this feature, because you are going to be able to copy this mind map to Markdown and back. But when we talk about features, I want to talk about the function of the Enter key, because now if I press Control or Command Enter on a Mac, then I added the node, and you can see that here the focus already moved to my next node right here. So I can show you that Enter has various features. So Control Enter creates child and focuses like that. And let me just pull this here, and then Shift plus Enter creates child and closes. So that's going to close the window. And I think that's all, but here we can always look at the various functions. So we also have Control Shift Enter to pin and unpin the location of an item. So this is a super cool feature, because what you can do here is I can move features over here, and here I can simply come and I can pin this. I can pin it like this, or with Control Shift Enter. So what happens when I pin it? When I pin it, I can either start to add my new items, or I can do a force rearrange map. And this now remembers that I want this child on, or this leaf on this side, and I can start to expand the features here. So for example, and this was another important feature that you might have noticed, that first of all, these are all grouped, and that's a setting that you can request the items or the branches to be grouped or not to be grouped. If the branches are grouped, that means that this entire branch is grouped, but then this branch here is grouped as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pin the Enter key here, but I'm going to add another feature to the list. Maybe, well, I'm just going to leave that there for now. And what I want to show you is this other cool feature is if I select the group and I activate the Mindmap Builder panel, it automatically selects the most senior element in the group. So for example, if I now double click and I have this group selected, then the Enter is selected the moment I activate this. So this just makes it very quick to add items. And the other feature I want to give you or show you is there are different growth strategies. And what you will see now is Enter is going to move. Because Enter was not pinned, it automatically, every time you add a new node, it's rearranged, but pinned nodes are retained there. And when I talk about growth mode, and I can show you this, if I now maximize this screen, this is now a right-facing mind map. Of course, I moved features to the left-hand side, and that's why it's pinned here and it stays here. But I can also make this into left-facing, and then you can see that all of my nodes are now here, including features. If I again make this right-facing, then features remain there. But if I unpin features, and now I make this left-facing, or I make this radial, or I make this right-facing, then this is rearranged because of the heights, etc. Sometimes nodes move around, but okay, I think that's actually not such a big issue, because you can pin nodes that you want in a certain location, and you can see that nodes will move in an intelligent way. Now you can see as well that each of the branch has a different color. That's also a setting here, so you can have multicolor branches, and then you get random colors for each branch. It's going to be a random different color, or you can use the same colors. Also, right now I'm using the font sizes on the Fibonacci scale, but you can have uniform font sizes for all the branches, or you can have the normal Excalidraw scale as well. Also, if you want, you can add a box around. So let's just do this. So I'm going to add a rounded cornered child here. So you can add boxed children. Sounds a bit strange like this, but the point is you can add items that are encapsulated, and then of course you can continue. So this can have child 1, oops, not this one, sorry. So this one can have child 1, child 2, that is then unboxed. If I need to delete an item, I can just simply come here and delete the items. Now, in terms of the copy paste, I think that's a super exciting feature. So if I now select my mind map and I click here to copy, then mind map is copied to the clipboard. So I can come over here and I can just simply paste my mind map, and you can see here that my entire mind map is copied here in bullet points, but this works the other way around as well. So if I have a bullet point list like this, and I come over to Mindmap Builder, then I can start Mindmap Builder and I can simply click paste, and then the mind map is created. You can see now it has different colors, and of course it's now all right facing. But also, if I wanted, and let me just show you this, if I bring settings over here, I'm going to pin settings and I'm going to paste the entire material here. So if now I click paste, then the entire bullet point list that was on my clipboard was pasted as the child elements of this leaf. And so this way, with copy paste, I think you have superpowers. Now, in terms of copy, right now, copy will always copy the entire map. Maybe later on, I'll add the feature that you can copy just a sub branch. Doesn't look very difficult, but also it's not very difficult to clean up your Markdown afterwards. And now we've already started to look at settings. I'm not really sure if there's anything else. You can disable auto layout. So what happens is, after a time, you might end up with a mind map that's elaborate. Now, of course, you can always pin every node, and then when you add one more child, so now I'm going to add one more first level node. If I do this, then everyone stays in place. But you can also just disable auto layout. You can do this if you already have a complex mind map, but you just want to quickly add a child here. And this will just add the child at a random location. And of course, in this case, you need to manually move these children around to wherever you want to. But in this case, Mindmap Builder, and of course, you can again hide this. In this case, Mindmap Builder will not automatically arrange items, but you can just add an item wherever you like, and then you need to manually arrange that so it's added. Now, the other bit I wanted to just mention is, if you have an item that you want to quickly select, so you don't want to double click here in the groups, then you can control click on the item, and of course you can quickly select an element here. And then back to settings here, there's a help up here, so if you get lost you can look at these, and I'm going to include this video here so you can explore that, as well as you can change the wrap length or wrap width. So if I change this to, let's say, 190, and now I come here and I'm going to make this now a left facing. Of course, all of these nodes were pinned, that's why nothing is happening, but the new node is now going to appear on the left hand side. And let's make this a longer node so it wraps. I think it's going to wrap into multiple lines, yes, because of course 190 width is not much, but you can see that you can have items that wrap like this. Center text means that the text is centered in the node. If it's not centered, and I wonder, oh yes, if it's centered already, so if I now change this to left mode and I move it to be right facing and refresh, then the text is going to adjust depending on the side. So if I now make this left facing, then it's going to change the text alignment. But if the text is centered, then that is not going to change. So it assumes that a centered text is your deliberate choice. Okay, so these are some heuristics. I'm going to be working on this script. I'm going to be using this over the next, well, next coming years, because I think this is a super powerful and very useful script. So over time, I'm going to improve this. Also, I'd love to hear your feedback in terms of features, in terms of how it works in practice. I tried to make this as intuitive and especially as friction-free as possible. That's why you can just simply navigate the map like this and quickly add another child here in the bottom like that. So you can see here that this took almost no time, and that's interesting. So why is that a dashed line? That's because you have an option here to use the scene stroke style, and that is a dashed line, though I have to say maybe that's actually a bug here. Let's see. So I'm going to add another child. Now it's good. Okay, so there are a few bugs also as I was demonstrating it here. I noticed some bugs, so expect this not to be 100% perfect, but I think this is already a super strong script that you can use. And then the two other bits I wanted to show you. First of all, the LaTeX Suite integration. I mean, I'm not a big LaTeX user. That's an understatement. I never write LaTeX. But if I now choose insert LaTeX formula, then I can just simply add a formula here. I'm going to be copying here this formula, and you can see that the new feature, the LaTeX Suite integration, means that you get the formula as I paste it here. That formula expands right there, and of course this also comes with editing support. So if I come here, you can see that the changes happen real time. It's a pretty nice feature that you see the LaTeX formula here. And of course, because this question comes up from time to time, if you control Windows, or this is, I think, Command Control click on a Mac, then the editor comes up. Or you can open the Obsidian Tools panel here, and you can click here, open the image link or LaTeX formula editor, and that's going to open the editor as well. So this is just to let you know that yes, you can modify these LaTeX formulas that you've added. And then the new arrow feature that came out with 2.18, which I think is an amazing feature. So the feature here is the following, that now you can add, so I'm going to just write here star like that, and now you can add arrows that point to a location in the image. So this is my location pointing to the star, and as I move either the text around or the image around, that point where the item is pointing to is going to stay. So you can point to anywhere on the image, and that's then going to be an image map. And I think that's super good, because as you move stuff around, it stays connected. By the way, that's the same feature is used. That's why I can now move a child element around this nicely, and it always points to the center. That's also a new arrow feature that is, I think, super useful and makes this entire mind mapping a much smoother experience. And then I think let's just get back to our story. So why is rapid mind mapping relevant to the course? Well, so to talk about this, let me just walk you through this was the video I wanted to publish 3 days ago, and I might still do it, but then I started to procrastinate. Essentially, I have this storyboard, and inside the storyboard, I'm talking about the different thinking tools that you can read from Edward de Bono. And what I did was I created a card for each of these tools, and the idea is you can arrange these tools to create thinking sequences. I'm not going to talk about it now. That's the other video I wanted to do, but then yeah, I just got derailed. But in many of these tools, you can see mind mapping appears as one of the tools that you can use to achieve that thinking activity in different ways. So you need to add different things to your mind map. This is why you would need mind maps. But also, I have this whole collection of visual frameworks, and Sketch Your Life is a course about visual frameworks, about thinking tools, about design thinking. So here you can see design thinking, and it simply builds up a course around these tools and storytelling and gives you a framework to live a better life, I think, in short. But it leads you through a process of creating your own life on a page and gives you tools that you can use on a daily basis to think better and to enjoy a life much more because you make better decisions. I don't have a date for the course yet, nor do I have a price for the course. But if you would like to stay informed, you can join the waiting list here on visualthinking.com/sketchyourlife. And this way you'll also get notified when there are early bird benefits and pilot courses or whatever's coming your way. And then finally, I just wanted to remind you that Sketch Your Mind is still available. You can buy it on Amazon or on Gumroad. You can follow sketchyourmind.com here. I'm amazed at the positive reviews I'm getting. After 57 ratings, the rating on Amazon.com is still 4.8, which is mind-blowing. Thank you very much for all the feedback, all the positive feedback. I'm so glad that the book is creating value for you as the reader. If you've not picked it up, I think this is still a good time during holidays to read a bit, and I'm pretty sure that this book is going to add to your visual PKM, add to your visual thinking tool set, and I hope that you'll come away with a very different mindset about visual thinking. That's all I had for you today. I hope you're going to enjoy Mindmap Builder, and I wish you a wonderful 2026. See you in the next year.